Have you ever wondered why some people draw others toward them, like rivers flowing to the sea, while others remain alone, despite their desperate attempts to be loved? Have you ever noticed how certain individuals seem to possess an invisible magnetism that makes hearts open without effort, without manipulation, without the endless games of pursuit and retreat that exhaust so many souls? Perhaps you have asked yourself what separates those who are genuinely cherished from those who are merely tolerated, endured, or forgotten the moment they step away from sight. The ancient master Confucius, whose wisdom has guided countless generations through the maze of human relationships, understood a truth that most people never discover. He knew that love, true, lasting, meaningful love, does not arise from chance encounters or fleeting attractions. It does not spring from beauty that fades with time, nor from wealth that can be lost, nor from clever words that eventually ring hollow. Instead, love flows toward only two kinds of people, and these two alone hold the secret to being genuinely treasured by others. But before we unveil this ancient wisdom, you must understand something that will challenge everything you believe about how relationships form. Most people spend their lives trying to be loved by becoming what they think others want them to be. They twist themselves into shapes that feel foreign, speak words that taste bitter in their mouths, and perform roles that drain their very essence. They believe that if they can just be entertaining enough, accommodating enough, or impressive enough, love will follow. Yet these same people often find themselves surrounded by those who disappear when the performance ends, when the benefits cease, when the convenience no longer serves their purposes. This is not love. This is transaction disguised as affection, utility masqueraded as devotion. And those who live this way discover, often too late, that they have spent their lives feeding hungry ghosts who can never be satisfied. No matter how much they sacrifice of themselves, they have confused being needed with being loved, being useful with being valued, being convenient with being cherished. But the master saw deeper than these surface movements of the heart. He understood that genuine love operates according to principles as unchanging as the movements of the heavens, as predictable as the changing of seasons. The first kind of person who draws true love possesses something that cannot be taught through instruction alone, cannot be purchased with gold, and cannot be faked through performance. It is a quality that emerges from within like spring water from deep earth, pure and constant, regardless of external circumstances. This quality transforms every interaction, every word, every silence, into something that nourishes rather than drains, that builds rather than destroys, that harmonizes rather than creates discord. Those who possess this first quality do not seek to impress others through grand gestures or elaborate displays. Instead, they move through the world with a steadiness that brings peace to troubled hearts. When they speak, their words carry weight, not because they are loud or clever, but because they arise from a place of genuine understanding. When they listen, others feel truly heard, not merely tolerated or analyzed. When they are present, the very air seems calmer, as if their inner harmony extends outward to embrace all those around them. This is not the false calm of those who suppress their true nature, nor the brittle composure of those who fear showing weakness. It is the deep tranquility that comes from aligning one's thoughts, words, and actions with something greater than personal desire. It is the peace that flows from knowing one's place in the great order of things and fulfilling that role with wholehearted devotion. When a person cultivates this inner harmony, others are naturally drawn to them because they represent what every human soul secretly yearns for, a refuge from the chaos and confusion that plague most hearts. But this first quality alone, though precious, is not sufficient to inspire the deepest forms of love. There must be something more, a second element that completes the foundation upon which lasting affection is built. This second quality is perhaps even rarer than the first, for it requires a courage that few possess and a wisdom that takes years to develop. It demands that a person look honestly at their own nature, acknowledge their shortcomings without excuse, and choose the difficult path of constant improvement over the easy road of self-justification. The second kind of person who draws genuine love understands that true strength lies not in dominating others or proving superiority, but in governing oneself with unwavering principles. They recognize that every moment presents a choice between what is easy and what is right, between what serves immediate comfort and what builds lasting character. And they choose, again and again, to walk the narrow path of virtue even when no one is watching, even when there is no reward, even when it costs them dearly. These individuals do not love others to receive love in return. They do not show kindness to earn favors, speak truthfully to gain trust, or act righteously to build reputation. Instead, they embody these qualities because they understand that this is how human beings were meant to live, how the universe itself operates according to moral laws as fixed as the laws that govern the movement of stars. Their love flows outward like sunlight, warming all it touches without expectation of return, without calculation of benefit, without fear of depletion. Tjorn. When such a person enters a room, conversations naturally turn toward deeper matters, not because they force profundity upon others, but because their very presence invites authenticity. They do not need to announce their virtue or display their wisdom like ornaments for admiration. Their character speaks through silence as clearly as through words, through restraint as powerfully as through action. Others feel safer in their company, more willing to reveal their true thoughts and struggles, because they sense that judgment will be tempered with compassion, that criticism will be offered as medicine rather than poison. This second quality transforms love from mere attraction into reverence, from fleeting infatuation into enduring respect. For when people witness someone consistently choosing virtue over convenience, truth over flattery, duty over desire, they cannot help but feel a stirring in their hearts. They recognize, perhaps without fully understanding why, that they are in the presence of something rare and precious, a human being who has learned to master the wild horses of impulse and emotion that drag most souls through life in endless confusion. But here lies the profound paradox that confounds those who seek love through calculation and strategy. The very act of pursuing these two qualities for the purpose of being loved corrupts them entirely. The moment one cultivates inner harmony merely to attract others, that harmony becomes performance. The instant one practices virtue to earn admiration, that virtue becomes vanity dressed in noble clothing. True love recognizes authenticity with the same certainty that the eye distinguishes light from shadow. This is why so many who desperately hunger for affection find themselves perpetually disappointed. They observe those who are beloved and attempt to copy their behaviors, their manner of speaking, their way of moving through the world. Yet their efforts feel hollow because they arise from neediness rather than genuine transformation. They practice kindness while their hearts remain calculating. They speak gentle words while their minds plot for advantage. They perform humility while pride burns within them like hidden fire. The Master taught that the way of virtue must be walked for its own sake, not for the rewards it might bring. When a student asked him about the purpose of righteousness, Confucius replied that asking such a question revealed the student had not yet begun to understand, for righteousness is not a tool to achieve other ends. It is the natural expression of a heart that has found its proper place in the cosmic order. It is what flows forth when the small, grasping self dissolves into alignment with the greater way that governs all things. Consider the difference between the ruler who governs with justice because he fears rebellion and the ruler who governs with justice because he understands that this is how heaven itself operates. Both may perform identical actions, issue the same edicts, enforce the same laws. Yet their subjects will respond differently to each, for the human heart possesses an uncanny ability to discern true motivation from false. The first ruler may maintain order through fear, but he will never inspire the deep loyalty that transforms subjects into willing servants of the common good. The second ruler, whose justice flows from genuine understanding rather than calculated strategy, will find that his people serve not because they must, but because they wish to participate in the beauty of righteous governance. So it is with love. Those who are truly beloved do not set out to be loved. They set out to become worthy of love by cultivating within themselves the qualities that make any human being valuable. Not valuable to others, but valuable in the absolute sense, valuable in the eyes of heaven itself. They understand that the universe operates according to moral principles, as fixed and unchanging as the laws that govern the movement of water, flowing downhill or fire rising towards sky. When a person aligns their daily choices with these eternal principles, something magnificent occurs. They begin to embody what others recognize, often without conscious awareness, as the ideal toward which all human hearts secretly strive. They become living proof that it is possible to rise above the petty concerns that consume most lives, the endless worry about reputation, the constant comparison with others, the desperate scramble for advantage and position. In their presence, others remember what they themselves could become if they had the courage to abandon lesser pursuits for greater ones. This is why such people draw love without seeking it, inspire devotion without demanding it, and leave lasting impressions without trying to be memorable. They have discovered that the secret to being treasured lies not in making oneself indispensable to others, but in becoming indispensable to the moral fabric of existence itself. Now you understand the ancient secret that has remained hidden from those who chase love like shadows fleeing from light. The Master's wisdom reveals itself simply. People fall in love with those who possess inner harmony and those who embody virtue without pretense. These two qualities cannot be counterfeited or performed, for they arise only from genuine cultivation of character. When you cease pursuing love and instead pursue righteousness, when you abandon the desperate hunt for affection and embrace the patient work of becoming worthy, love finds you as naturally as rivers find the sea. The choice before you is clear. Will you continue grasping at reflections, or will you become the light itself?